Why would anyone want to use a constructivist approach when designing instruction? Before attempting to answer that question, let's review some key questions and hopefully some answers about the constructivist view of learning. We will then look at some guidelines for constructivist instructional design. How do people learn from a constructivist perspective? People learn all the time, every day, and most of their learning doesn't take place in a classroom. Constructivism says that people construct their own understanding and knowledge of the world through experiencing things and reflecting on those experiences. What is the learning process to a constructivist? The constructivist view of the learning process states that learning is an active process. While there is a real world that sets limits on what we can experience, learners each look at the world differently based on their own experiences and interpretations. Because people are different from one another, and each person has a unique set of experiences, the knowledge each person will construct will be different, a different understanding of what is being learned. But constructivist learning is not a matter of anything goes. Knowledge must be viable, and learners must be able to justify their positions. In fact, constructivists believe that students learn through interaction with others, thus providing chances to try out and strengthen their own understanding and learning. What is the teacher's primary role in learning? A constructivist teacher encourages students to use active techniques to create more knowledge and then reflect on and talk about what they are doing and how their understanding is changing. The teachers are there to guide and to help. With that brief review of constructivism, let's look at some guidelines for constructivist instructional design. It almost seems counterintuitive to talk about something like this because the point in constructivism is to help each learner build on their own existing knowledge themselves and extend that knowledge. However, there are useful guidelines for constructivist design, just no definite how-to rules. Ideally, learning under the constructivist model takes place in a supportive, safe, motivating environment. It is an instructional designer's job to create such an environment, which David Jonasson named a constructivist learning environment, CLE or CLE. In a CLE, learners solve problems, interact with others, and assess their own learning. Constructivist learning environments support project-based curriculum as an alternative to traditional teaching practices. Jonasson listed components that a designer should consider. Provide a clear, interesting, relevant problem statement. These real-world problems should not be overly defined, but rather ill-structured in order for students to be interested to look for a solution. There will be, of course, no right or wrong answer to the problem using this approach. Simulate the problem in a real-world context. Recreate the same type of interesting problems the learners would face in the real world. Replicate the actual activity structure, including the same constraints, advantages, and tools that would exist in the real world. Allow learners to research, investigate, and experiment with things in a meaningful way. Utilizing constructivist instructional design will allow learners to apply their natural curiosity to the world around them, develop the critical thinking skills and confidence to analyze problems and challenges, collaborate and exchange ideas with others, and create solutions for developing issues. The ultimate goal is to cultivate a learner's thinking and knowledge construction skills.